Here is my 23 F450. It's got the 6.7 high output, and it's kind of my mobile office. And I have to say, I really enjoy the tech in the truck. We've got our Android Auto on the screen. You can see, all the features on the interior. This particular truck is not the fancy Blue Cruise and all that good stuff. It can't self-drive or do any of that. Because I cheaped out on the build when I got this truck, it's actually missing the motor that you typically find right here that can actually steer the vehicle for you. But with that being said, it's still a pretty high-tech truck. But one of the things that's really got me thinking is the truck is now equipped with Amazon Alexa, which is kind of interesting. A lot of people fear that Amazon Alexa is actually somehow connected to the government. I don't want to say what entity, but it's connected to the government and they're listening to you. I mean, this technology can hear everything that you're saying, and then when you say the certain call word, the system turns on, like Alexa. You say that word and then it turns on. But it really raises the question, if they can do all that, what else can they do? So thinking about the technology that's built into this truck, it has the ability to know everywhere the truck has been, and most of this stuff is here to help you. For example, if the truck was being stolen, the vehicle has the capability to engage the parking brake and prevent the vehicle from rolling. Anytime there's a maintenance reminder, for example, now it says change oil soon. Well, it's notifying my phone as well, like change your oil soon. It's telling me right on my cell phone. Is this all good for the end consumer, or is this something that is more invasive than you would like? So as long as you are doing everything right, then it's not an issue. You're not committing any crimes. You're maintaining your vehicle on time like you're supposed to. You're doing everything correctly. You're not committing adultery. You're not doing anything. But if you think about it, the truck has a record of everywhere that we've been. So when we go to our standard navigation, one of the things I noticed is it is leaving these little breadcrumbs right on this map of everywhere I have been, which is, not an issue. I mean, you can see it's these little red dots everywhere. That's showing up on camera. These little dots everywhere of everywhere I've been. So if I'm going somewhere where I'm not supposed to go and I don't want nobody to know, then I better not drive this, because this shows me everywhere it's been. Now, for me, it's so many places it wouldn't make sense, but let's just say I'm at a bar and I'm not telling somebody that I'm not going to a certain bar. Well, the record of that bar is going to be stored forever in this device, and I don't know exactly where this stuff is going, how it's in here, what it means. All I know is that if I go somewhere, it leaves a red dot and lets the vehicle know that it's been there. So if there was some type of weird criminal case, that could either help or hurt, depending on what side of that case I'm on. It can be an alibi for me, pulling all the metadata that's somehow stored in the truck, and it's not something that I can edit. So it could put me somewhere as an alibi, or it could put me somewhere as not an alibi, like you were in the wrong place at the wrong time type of thing. That stuff is for the end user to figure out where they stand and what they want. Do you want a vehicle that is tracking your every move? Well, for all of us watching, we're all honest men, we're all good people, and it's not a big deal. Whatever, we can turn on our life 360 for our significant other, as well as have the technology in the vehicle to where the significant other can always see you. Okay, no problem. But where can this all turn bad? What could be the negative side of having this level of technology? Well, one issue that I saw over the winter, plowing snow, for some reason, I think there was an issue with the oil life monitoring system where we just kept going through oil life. Every single night that we plowed the snow, our oil life monitor would go off. It would go to 0% within a day's time. Well, I can't change the oil every single day that we work. And it's never done that before with the other diesels that I had. But maybe the algorithm changed. Maybe, you idled the truck a lot, so you have to change the oil sooner. But every day would be a little excessive. Now, I know that we idled the truck a lot that day, but they have to figure something else out to where you're not changing your oil every day. It's just too much. And for me, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should just listen to the oil life monitor and change it. Ooh, look, cool Hummer. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I should listen to the oil life monitor and change it every single day like it's recommending. But in my case, I am using some of the nicer oils, the Hot Shot Seekers PAO, which is rated for a very long service interval, or the AMS oil, which is also rated for a very long service interval. Not saying that I go over the miles, not going over 5,000. So how can this technology be bad? How can it be a negative when it's constantly monitoring every single thing that the truck is doing? And the question really comes to my mind is, are they gonna use this data to try to deny a warranty claim? So in my case, with the oil life going off on me every single night, and I did hear that there's updates to the oil life monitoring system that have changed the algorithm because so many people were complaining, guys who idle a lot. I get it. You don't want to idle a lot. You don't want to plow snow and be like in a parking lot working for an hour and then go into another parking lot. It's a little sensitive to be every day that you have to change your oil if you're doing that. Maybe once a month, like it's been in the past, like you would run through your oil life in a very short amount of miles and have to change your oil in a month's time, but never every day. That's just too much. But is my warranty still good? Because that data was sent to my phone. My phone's going crazy. Change your oil right now. Change your oil right now. It's being sent to the internet. It's being stored somewhere. If you were to look on the computer, a dealer tech could look at the oil history and see that the oil, according to the oil life monitor, it's not being changed quickly enough. It's not being, and this might not even be an issue that I'm or an error that I'm making. This might actually be a issue with the software. But would Ford try to void my warranty for an engine replacement with this type of data being sent to them? If it came to the case where I needed a new high output 6.7 Power Stroke, this engine could be over $30,000, and Ford, would they be looking for any reason to deny that level of a claim, or would they just go ahead and say, hey, here's your new engine? It's kind of interesting. I wonder if they're taking all this data where it seems like, hey, this is here to help me. It's probably there to help Ford also, where the vehicle can have the ability to protect itself a little bit if someone's breaking into it. Someone breaks the door, it locks up the emergency brake, electronic, by the way. But then comes in a whole different set of questions is, could the technology be used in a nefarious way? Could the vehicle potentially steer itself or have the parking brake applied by some type of a government entity? I'm sure it could in the right scenario. Let's just say someone's doing some type of awful crime and they are located with the technology that's already in the truck. That vehicle can be immobilized. You can shut down the engine, or you can lock up the emergency brake, immobilize the vehicle. This is all technology that we would want, but it gets to be a little bit of a gray area if trust is lost. If there would ever be a scenario where the government could potentially decide that you as the vehicle owner, for whatever reason, maybe your political views, whatever, should be immobilized. I mean, it's not that far out of the question that the technology could either get hacked or that ideas could be spread that this group of people, we know all this data, we've heard them talking on the Alexa, we know who they're voting for, we know what they're about and who they're supporting politically, or what type of political views are opposite from mine, and we're going to shut them down. Kind of like how in Canada, when they were protesting over some kind of trucker protest, and all those truckers had their bank accounts seized. Things like that can happen. So it's kind of an interesting thing. Yeah, there's that whole thing like this guy could be out here with a girlfriend or something and someone's located him. Or it could be that thing was, do you really want a vehicle that can be shut off, be immobilized for any reason, just by whoever has access to the technology? It's very interesting. It's very, I don't know. It's very concerning in a way. So what can be done? So we've been researching this, whether it's been on PowerStroke Tech Talk. We've kind of played around with it. Cody Phillips over there, he's got a channel as well that he produces content on, but he knows the back end of Ford. As it says right now, at least with the 23, if you were to unplug your module, just like if someone were to steal your vehicle, if you unplug the module, well, all that stuff that's there to protect you is immobilized. So if someone wants to steal this truck, even with the Ford Pass and everything that is in it, you would think, oh, you can't steal the truck. No, not true. All you have to do is know how to disconnect the signal from the server, and you could still steal the truck. Unplug the module, unhook the antenna, it can't receive data, whatever, and you are no longer protected by the Ford Pass. It's not that hard to do. So Ford Pass is easy to immobilize. You could actually immobilize it yourself, and you could still drive the vehicle. You'd lose access to your map. Your GPS would be dead. At least in the 23s. If you're driving like a 22 or older, you can immobilize the Ford Pass and you can still keep your GPS. But on the 23s and newer, it's looking like you immobilize the GPS, or the TCU, I believe it's called, and you're going to lose your map. You're going to have to use Android Auto. You're going to lose a lot of features, but you're going to lose the over-the-air updates and all this stuff. Like, this truck is a little bit weird that it can update itself over the air without you doing anything. It can update all kinds of things. But the real concern that I kind of have is the data with the warranty. I mean, yeah, we can all speculate. It's fun. You know, is Alexa connected to a government type of entity? Yes, probably. I don't know. I feel like if I were to say something that started with the third letter of the alphabet, then this whole video could be flagged just by saying that letter and then another letter and then the first letter of the alphabet. This whole video could be taken down. That's just my tinfoil hat. Maybe I'm just tripping out here, but Alexa and all that, yeah, it's kind of fun to say let's disable that just because they listening. At the end of the day, they can still hear you on the phone. I mean, what are you going to do? Put your phone in a metal box? You could get a safe in the truck, put your phone inside the safe, and then turn off your TCU and drive around and talk about crimes. Nobody can probably hear you. I don't know. But for the reality of our situation that we probably can assume is a real concern right now is the warranty. These trucks now have the ability, a lot of trims, to tell if the vehicle is being overloaded, if the vehicle is being used in an improper way. I mean, how crazy is it that they have a sensor on every single axle and they can tell the amount of load? Well, what if you go over your payload? Does your phone go off? Does it say bing 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 on your phone, on your Ford Pass, and it tells you you're over your payload, warning? And what are the implications and the legality of knowing now for sure that you're over payload and having notifications and warnings and all this, and you still drive the vehicle if something were to happen? Now you're faced with, hey, don't even risk it. The truck just told everybody that you're overloaded, and you should probably just park the truck and correct the load, which is great. But give the technology, because the technology now is not that reliable, give it a little more time, and it might actually be required to have it, or to follow by it, and to you overload the vehicle and the network knows, and you're flagged, and you're in trouble, and you're ticketed, and you're whatever. It's a very concerning. There's two sides to every argument. It's like, yeah, make the technology better, track every vehicle, and know who's all loaded correctly. We can do that. Should we do that? That's really the question. Depends on what side of the fence you fall on. I'm in a camp that sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Ideally, everything's perfect, but even though this is an F450, I've overloaded the hitch by a little bit, and I got what I needed to get done, and maybe it was a little bit risky, but in the landscape industry, you typically end up overloading your hitch. It's not ideal. You avoid it, but sometimes stuff is heavy. So it's a very interesting situation. Warranty-wise, could you have to pay for a rear diff out of pocket if you've been overloading it and it's been telling you that? Maybe your overloading didn't really cause that issue, but that gives them grounds for dismissal of a warranty. But maybe there's a malfunction on one of those sensors, and it keeps saying that it's overloaded, and it's overloaded, but it's really not. And now your warranty is void on so many different drivetrain items, transmission maybe. Who knows? I mean, Ford is dealing with a crisis of how much warranty work are they forced to do, and how are they going to lower that cost? And maybe that's how they're trying to lower the cost, is with the reduction of warranty claims by simply creating more tools to fight the warranties. So comment below and tell me below if you had any warranty issues on the 23s. Maybe it's the technology is there and the Ford's not using it in that way, but the possibility is certainly there. But I'm going to drive to this next destination. I'll probably go ahead and park and close out the video. See you guys at the next stop. Comment below and let me know your thoughts on the topic. Do you trust it, or would Ford use this information and this data? I like to think they wouldn't, but for them to build out a network like they've done, wouldn't it be within their means to do this, or would it be something that they would be interested in doing, is figuring out what's going on with the truck? For example, if I were to overload the Pro Power and run too much current, and right on my cell phone it lets me know, hey, you're running too much current on your Pro Power. This information, in theory, is in the hands of Ford, and could they use that to void a warranty? Maybe my inverter stops working and they're like, hey, this is what you did with it. Everything you did was in violation of how it's supposed to be used. So comment below, what level of conspiracy are you willing to go to? Are you willing to go to the full, the full blown, the government's listening type of thing, or is it just maybe the Ford warranty wouldn't be honored? Comment below, let me know your thoughts, and I have to go get back to work. See you in the next one. Over and out.